Are there any good jokes about Pokemon involving Judaism?
How about which Pokemon celebrates Hanukkah?
If you say Pikachu, I will cancel the episode. Welcome to the SmashBros AMA. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SmashBros AMA, brought to you by the Daily Dot. I, of course, am your host, Ian Double John Barker, and with me for the second week in a row, probably the best left guy that's ever been to the left of me, at least.
Got cut off last time,
Mike Duncan-Schiller. There was that classic ending to our last show where you're going to get... What were you were going to get inscribed as like Smash is shit or something?
Smash is the shit.
That's not the way
Which was Wes Balls' ending quote.
Well, unfortunately, our viewers didn't hear that. But hopefully this week we'll be able to get all your audio in. Well, with us tonight, obviously not just Donka, not just myself, but the legendary Team Liquid Hungrybox, the Jigglypuff player, is going to be answering your questions. But before we get into the burning questions that you want to know, we've got a little piece to introduce our Jigglypuff friend. Every game has characters that are challenging, frustrating, or even downright annoying to play. Turning those annoying characters into top-level weapons, however, takes true skill.
Oh my god, opportunity for
Juan Hungrybox the Beatma has made a career of turning losing matchups on their head, garnering god status as the only player to wield Jigglypuff with incisive consistency for the duration of his reign.
That's it!
With 3 titles under his belt and yet another second-place finish at EVO just this year, there's little to suggest that he's slowing down anytime soon either. Welcome to the show, Juan Hungrybox the Beatma. Juan, welcome to the show. How you doing tonight, man?
I am doing pretty well, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming on this show. Before we get started in the questions, anybody who's unfamiliar with the format, every Monday we submit a new and important Smash guest to the SmashBros AMA thread. The moderators very graciously put up a thread for us. You put in your best comments and then upvote and downvote your favorite ones. And, of course, we read them to you every Thursday or Wednesday, in the case of rescheduling live on air. And we get the answers that you're looking for. And, Juan, I mean, without further ado, are you ready for the questions that the viewers have put together?
Yeah, I'm always ready. And I tried to, I think I glanced over them the first time I saw the page, but I like surprises, so I like answering off the top of my head.
Well, we got some doozies this week, so we're looking forward to it. First of all, to kick off the AMA, the question that's on everyone's mind, of course, did you pay your rent?
Oh, shit.
Did you actually forget?
I gotta do that. I think they give me until the end of the month because I'm going to be like traveling this weekend and really busy. I'm going to forget anyway, but I will. I will do that.
Watch the VOD.
I'm so glad that we actually served a practical purpose.
I'm already scrubbing it up, but it's all good. When you live by yourself, you guys understand.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That shit, you just forget about it. But that's all right. At least now you've got a very public reminder of your financial duties to your landlord. Well, moving on to the more meat and potatoes thing. We're going to lead off with a little event that went down this weekend. Of course, you won the MLG New Orleans World Finals. Mewtwo King, your opponent, took a little bit of objection to some comments that you made after that. And so the people want to know. Alan Alonso asks, what do you think about Mewtwo King's responses to your interview?
Honestly,
you wanted a surprise, man. Here it is.
Way worse things have been said in this community, especially by top players in terms of trash talk. I'm Jason's teammate. Like we have been teaming, since I don't know how long now, maybe 4, almost 5 years, I think, in various events, and we had the greatest double streak of all time, rivaled maybe only by Ken and Isaiah, and that's something we should both be proud of. When I'm in grand finals of national, I'm feeling pretty confident, and I like trolling people. I like trying to be funny. It doesn't always hit, as you guys have seen. But I said it in complete harmony and just complete good fun. Had I known he would have taken that to heart as sort of an offense to his playstyle, I wouldn't have said it. I just thought like we were sort of beyond that sort of thing, at least as, colleagues in a sense of this game. And then he went on Twitter and as a response to me said that Puff carries me. And I'm like, it's sort of calling the pot calling the kettle black, It's just like what I said was in good fun, but I think what he said was sort of very honest and slightly, I think slightly more degrading than me saying, or you want to lose too fast. Or that's sort of like, come on, give me what you got.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, he's obviously he gets very emotional at times, as do I for various reasons. So I mean, he probably said it in a heated moment, so he probably didn't mean it, and it's all good.
The phrase "puff carries me" hits me a certain way because there aren't an especially large amount of high-level Jigglypuff players. How do you take like the insult towards your character choice that frequently happens?
Well, before I say that, honestly, the immediate response that came to my head when he said that on Twitter, and I wasn't even gonna it was not even honest, but to be funny, I would have said, he said like, "Oh yeah, Puff carries you, by the way." Well, I would have said, "Yeah, well, I carry you in team, so it's fine." I wanted to say that so bad because it's not true at all, but it would have been funny. But again, like I couldn't have said it because he would have taken it seriously when it would have been serious at all.
Yeah,
but
sure.
Anyway, okay, you were saying the phrase "puff carries you" sort of sits badly with you because there's not many top puffs, sort of thing.
Yeah, and just how you take like Puff seems to be generally an insulted character for playing campy and all this various other things that come out of people's mouths. How do you feel about all of that as the Jigglypuff player?
It's like she obviously has her faults, right? She's definitely a high-tier character beyond all regards, that sense. But you need to know what you're doing in a lot of different situations, and the only way you can become a better Puff is by playing as many high-level or top-level players as you can. That's why, because I have the ability to travel, and I have the means to do so. I have a phenomenal sponsor, by the way. Team Liquid's taking incredible care of me, and I can do that, and it's sort of like I'm getting better as I go along. So the time I put to invest in my skill is now paying off even more so, because I have a higher chance to compete against, Mango, against the Swedes, against Mewtwo King, and the more I play them, the more I figure out. They figure out more about me too, but you need that experience. And I would say that if Puff carries me, then Fox carries the top players against me, then Marth carries you, then FD carries you, then your ability to play multiple characters carries you. It's not like, to me, that's not like a feasible statement to have a character carries you and not have a character carry you too. Well, I can play the entire cast. That's great. My Fox sucks dick, but doesn't mean that I'm not good at Smash Bros. It's people can be character specialists.
Well, and let's not ignore the fact that when you got a 70-30 matchup going against you, and you make your career based on being able to flip that on its head. That's no small feat. Obviously, you've made a lot of strides in your neutral game. I mean, it's just, it befuddles me to hear the comment that a character at a significant disadvantage from the character in the meta somehow like makes a difference. I don't know. Maybe he was just upset, but at least from a Smash fan's perspective, it is a weird insult to lash out with.
Yeah, but we all say stupid stuff all the time. I certainly have my share of that. Recently, I posted a tweet saying that Smash God was the best Marth I ever played. This guy I lost to a net play, and then I realized that like people might have taken that as the best Marth ever, period. But I was referring to me playing on net play, but I didn't say that. And then everyone's like, "What a friggin' idiot you are." So I'm like, okay, you have to be completely transparent with what you say all the time. Yeah. And I totally get that too.
Yeah, it just seems like y'all were on totally different pages here, despite there being no real harm meant by it. So
man.
Hopefully,
I hope he forgives me. Just the other day we were talking double strategy, so I'm pretty sure we're still teaming. I was scared for a second. I'm like, is he gonna drop me, man? Is he really that mad at me? But no, I think we're good. I hope we're good. But
watch out for the friendly fire, dude.
Yeah.
Sabotage me. We're gonna play Armada Android a DreamHack. He's gonna friggin' kill himself 8 times.
First ever 3-person wombo combo. I love God. Maybe erase that sad memory from Zoo and make a new one. Well, anyway, it's funny because a lot of the questions as we go down the list, a lot of them have to do with your relationship with people. So I don't know what that says about you or
what
about.
A surprise!
Yeah, I know. Obviously, it says a lot about people's perception of you.
I'm just a really shitty person.
So. No, I've met you at tournament like 3 different times, and every time been absolutely disgusted. So that's why we exploited this, right? We're a show about drama. So
there we go.
Dappa DC comes at us with our next question and asks, are you and Mango on okay terms? And we'll get to the rest of that question in a second. Ooh. Yeah, dude.
Ooh.
We don't pull punches, man. That's why we're here. The Smash drama machine.
You guys ever had Perrier? You don't. You
A couple
you have-
times.
You have no idea how meta Perrier is, dude.
You're
It's
officially installing the
Perrier, I'm sorry.
question.
You're official.
It's so it's so patrician. You know, it's so pretentious. I love it.
You drink it in a powdered wig.
And it's the plastic bottle, so it's that much more fraudulent. Well,
I'm gonna take that as your answer in that case.
Can I just answer? I'm gonna.
You can't.
I'm gonna
You can say whatever you want, man. It is your time in the sun.
Perrier H-Bucks. I'm always afraid when I'm drinking certain drinks, like, oh, am I not supposed to do that? Oh, I don't know.
So nothing at all about you and Mango, huh? You just guys are just.
Oh wait, are we live?
Yeah.
Oh
Are you-
shit! I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I thought we were on break or whatever. You said after we come right back, right?
No. This is live. This is us, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is pretty fucking funny.
Inquiring
All
minds
right.
want to know.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought we were. You guys said we're on.
No,
okay.
there was the rest of the question.
There
We're just
was,
starting
yeah.
off with
Oh,
how
yeah.
do you feel about Mango? How is your current relationship? We heard about you and Perrier.
Oh,
Good plug for Perrier, though.
I'm getting
You
Yeah.
right
love
now.
Perrier,
Shit, I
but
can't-
you
all right.
ex Mango. I'm gonna
all
put
right.
it like that.
Sorry, let's rewind.
No.
Let's rewind. All right. To answer the question, and I'll give you a nice answer now too. I was so dumb. I said this in the HC interview, and I said I do have a desire for me and Mango to be friends now. He completely probably doesn't want to. I totally get it, but I think I've gotten definitely beyond our differences at this point, and I've already said I respect him as a player, and I've even started, getting on better terms with I think so with Alex 19, and hopefully Lucky too.
When you say
So-
you get it, why would he hate you? Like, what is the story behind that? Or not hate you, but not want to be friends? Like, what's the...
There's multiple reasons. We're first and foremost just very, very different people, just completely polar opposites as personalities. And we had the whole issue with the Reddit AMA where I called him out on sort of his behavior towards me. But then, at the same time, my behavior in general as a competitor wasn't the most savvy either. Not towards him, just in general. I don't know. At this point, I'm willing to say like we both definitely made mistakes in the past, if not to each other, if maybe in general. But I think we've grown up. We've had our share of life experiences, and it's I'm beyond ready to move past it, honestly. And yeah.
Yeah, there's no question. Sometimes you just end up with people you don't get along with,
I mean,
yeah, Michael
it's
Keaton
definitely
don't
been
talk
a very important life lesson for me. But yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you guys were able to find a level of respect. Once again, we got another question. This one coming from Moose Oras. Which, by the way, apparently ORAS, apparently that's a Pokemon thing. I've been playing too much Pokemon lately, and so that's why I
Omega
know
Red
that.
Alpha Sapphire.
Oh, is that it? Oh, well. I thought it was... I don't have a joke for that. Anyway, Moose Oras wants to know, what is your opinion of the rest of the Big Six, at least personality-wise?
Okay. Gotta pick my words carefully here, I guess.
Yeah. People put out a minefield for you on this AMA, man. They really wanted you, they were looking to throw you some curveballs, and fortunately
right.
we're getting them out of the way at the top of the hour.
Let's start with the easiest one first, and that's Armada. I think Armada and I have a very a high level of respect toward each other. Armada currently the best player in the world, and I currently stand as I believe one of the few Americans who can definitely give him a run for his money. The last person he lost to was Mango and What the Fox, and then he lost to me at FC Return. Apart from that, he's been beating everyone, and he lost to Leffen before that, obviously as well. But Armada he's just the emblem of a top player, the one that this community deserves, and he's never wronged me in any way. So he's a great person.
You guys have a very storied matchup history, you and Armada, with the young Link, the Jigglypuff, the Peach, the Fox. Can you talk a little bit, just before getting on to the rest of the cast of the Big Six, about how you prepared to set up for all those different counterpicks?
Including, there was a lot, obviously. You said, Peach, Fox, Ness, young Link, Jigglypuff. There's been an array of characters, and it was just a very long chess match, I believe. I think the belief was that when Armada played me for the first time at Apex 2010 and I 5-0'd him, I think he immediately already accepted the fact that Peach cannot beat Puff, and he went Young Link, and it worked amazingly against me. It took me a while to actually figure it out. And then when my Jigs kept losing to Young Link, I started to be like, okay, if Armada was willing to drop his main in belief of a theoretical matchup, then I should do the same and play not the expected top tier, but also a low tier that he would not know necessarily how to counter against. My plan was definitely perhaps not a well thought out plan, but I wanted to become the absolute best with Ness and get him to a level that was so good that regardless of whatever limited matchup experience I might have, it would still provide a healthy counter against Young Link. And I played against Young Link in my area, and I was botting them with Ness all the time. Obviously, they weren't nearly as good as Armada, but I thought for a second it would work, and I think I would have won match 2, Apex 2012, Apex 2013, set 1. Shy Guy stopped that, but that's only one match, and who's to say it wouldn't happen? But I just wanted to do something creative, something unexpected in that sense. But he was, I think he had more of a better basis on a character with Young Link. And then eventually, once I was at Evo and he had already been destroying me with Young Link again, I said, well, about to go to losers. There's only one thing left to do. When you're about to go to losers, when you're in your last match, there's one thing left to do, and that's go Puff. And for me, just go Puff. Stick to your guns always, as I say. If you never know who to pick in a counter pick matchup, just play your main. The best will always happen, because when you're playing your main and it gets to that clutch point where it's last stock, you're not going to choke. You know what to do with your main. So it's important.
Yeah, well, and the crazy thing to me is that particularly in the neutral game, which is sort of the place where Armada really excels, where he just, as they say, he puts up that wall and he just doesn't give you any openings. You've sort of been able to match him there. I mean, I remember being in the audience at Evo and being just blown away that your Puff was suddenly able to get inside his guard when it had looked invincible. So what is it about Armada specifically? We'll get back to the rest of the question, but what is it about Armada specifically that you're able to find that no one else can?
Patience. That's it. And it's not just a simple that's it. Patience with Fox is almost like a what's the word? It's like an oxymoron almost, that phrase. It's like, because Fox is such a fast character, and to be patient for that long, to just use a character with that speed and that potential, but really play it as if you were a tanky character like Peach is just phenomenal. He's the only player so far that I've played who is willing to exert that level of patience with Fox at top level on the hot seat on the big stage. But let's not forget his just almost perfect tech skill, his perfect ability to read, his DI. The list goes on. Obviously, Armada has more accolades than any of us, I'm sure. But to me, his patience in neutral is what gets him apart. And in retort, what I do different from most Puffs in neutral against Fox is the ability to intimidate. And it's not just a fake intimidation. I know, and I can analyze where you're going to be with Fox, and all I need is one grab. All I need is one grab on the stage of platforms, and it should be a simple death. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Well, why don't you go ahead and go down the list of the other Smash players?
The harder ones, as you said.
Yeah.
I'll do those last. Second, the easy one is Dr. Peepee. Very similar to Armada. He's opened up to me we were in the Invitational after we played Smash 4, the Smash 4 Invitational, and he opened up to me a little about, sort of what he was going through, and it was like a heart to heart, and it was very interesting to get his insight, because I never saw him as an enemy, but more like a rival, like a competitor, someone I have to compete against, an opponent. But he's a human being, as we all are, and honestly a great person with just great background. I would say that he, at least back in the day, was too hard on himself in terms of his performance, and it would definitely be visible. And I wish that he would, as am I, we both do the same thing. I just wish we both would understand what it means to accept the loss as it comes along and understand what it means. But he's gotten way better about it, and yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but it's saying PPMD's name is like saying Beetlejuice. Literally, our entire chat is now PPMD Craigasm. So
PPMD Craigasm, dude. It's just or P Craigasm, P Craigasm, M Craigasm.
Gotta put one between every. They literally cannot get enough Craigasms even talking about PPMD.
And PPMD Craigasm, it's not just a joke. It sort of goes to show you the level of how many people are astonished by this man and sort of his legacy and his story and his ability. In terms of skill, I mean, what is there not to say about PPMD? Just he writes textbooks, not literally, but theoretically, on how to play certain matchups. He is so concise about studying and analytics and understanding, When I'm playing, you can just see his brain just like ticking, But it's not like Mewtwo King, where the inputs are almost like a computer. PBMD is more like a brain and a heart working together sort of in conjunction. And again, his patience is second to Armada of the entire Big Six, I would say.
That's awesome. So who's third on your list? Who's the next hardest to describe?
Let's go with Mewtwo King. And Mewtwo King I consider him a friend. I spoke about him earlier. Again, very wickedly hard on himself. The hardest of anyone when he loses or has a loss he doesn't understand. And it hurts me to see that. It's never easy to read your opponent's sort of emotional turmoil after you're the one causing it. And so that's like, but Jason's a unique person, He has his own philosophies and views on things, and ultimately, I will never see him as an enemy. I don't think he's just he's trying to hustle like the rest of us, trying to get through life and do his thing. And sometimes I wish he had more positivity, more optimism. I think would do him a big favor, and he has to understand that what people expect of him isn't always, complete and concise destruction. People understand that there's people at his level, 6 of them or 5 other people at his level, that anything could happen on a certain given day. He's beat me before, I've beaten him before. We've had streaks against each other, he's just a very emblematic again of what Melee is, but he again is a computer in the way that he plays, because he understands frame data and he understands combos and percentages and memorization. That is his strongest suit of the Big Six for sure. And that is why he is such a phenomenal player. And even when he seems like he's slumping, he goes out and has one of the most solid wins against Mango that I've probably ever seen in this period.
Yeah, that was some serious destruction when he took him down.
And he's doing is remembering habits. And when we team, he does send me. There's a joke about it. He does send me paragraphs of notes on other players. He's always like, do
you read them? Do you actually read them?
Yeah, I mean, I read. I don't go back every single day, but I definitely read them when he sends them. He's like, oh, so and so recovers high every single time. So and so will always down smash when this situation happens. So and so is easy to get upset. Then there's different notes in different players that we have, and we have to use them. That's what it's good at. Smash is becoming a game of analytics. It's becoming Moneyball in a way.
Nice.
It's funny.
So we're number 4 on your list?
We're at the 4th.
Let's do Mango.
Let's do Mango.
But I already went briefly over him again. Mango. So we actually were able to have a pretty decent conversation at Big House. We shared some laughs. He's apparently extremely afraid of getting shots from the doctor. And so we had a good laugh about that.
Is that a PPMD euphemism, or is that? Or you mean
like syringes or whatever?
Excellent.
Yeah. And so that was funny. We were sharing our fears and stuff, and just having laughs. But also shit talking to each other. But respectful shit talk. We know that we can take it at this point. So that was fine. And all I'm gonna say about this is that I think even more than Mango, I think it's some of the people surrounding Mango, maybe some of his biggest supporters and biggest fans. I think those are the ones that actually like have the biggest vendetta against me.
Sure.
We saw High, the Cloud9 player. He was fined 500 euros for flicking off a player after a statement was made. And no top player did that, but there was certain people. After a victory, for instance, who expressed that gesture towards me, and it's not like I'm gonna be like, oh, find them. Of course not. But I just wish at this point there was a little more respect. That's all warranted. I think. Why the fuck would I ever do that to, what?
Yeah.
Are you serious? He's just I don't know. So, but I forgive them. I do forgive them.
Sure. Does part of that just come down to playing Jigglypuff, though? I mean, because even you probably have to admit that Jigglypuff has the capability to be extremely annoying, very frustrating to play. Is that just part of it? Is just the way that you play your character so well aggravates people, and it's just as you said with Mewtwo King, just a heat of the moment thing?
It might be, but there's being upset about your person not winning, and then there's like taking it a step further and like intentionally trying to make the person feel worse about himself or just being very offensive. Jigglypuff is annoying to fight against. I hate Jigs Dittos, so I'm actually not too similar for the rest of y'all. But I had to put it in work and a lot of understanding and theorizing when it comes to playing Puff at this level. I just hope people can sort of see that now at this point, because I wish I could tell you it was easy and it doesn't take skill, but it takes patience. It takes tech skill too, more than you would think, and it takes a very in-depth understanding of matchups, not against characters, but player matchups.
Sure. Well, and then none of that is easy, obviously, and that's part of what makes you guys so legendary is the fact that you guys have committed so much time to it. Do we have any gods left? Is there anybody left to riff on?
Someone left.
There's no gods left. There's Leffen.
There's Leffen. Okay. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Bonus question for the people.
Oh, and before we get into that, again, when I was younger, I also said things that were offensive towards people on a stage when I was 16 or 15 maybe. And it's because I was very upset at someone's loss. And when you sort of see it from the other side, it definitely gives you perspective. So I do forgive those people, and I just hope they don't do it again. But the last person would be Leffen. And Leffen is just, I don't even know, man. It's just like every time he's on social media, he seems so, not I want to say radically different, but so much more extreme on social media and extreme online. And like when I see him in person, are we buddy? Not by any means, but we work together to do a stream to raise money for Android to go to Big House and other people as well to go to Evo. It's just that he does things that I wish I was just like, really, man? Are you doing this just because you want to portray currently the villain, persona, or is it because you sincerely believe those things, And I completely understand, having a presence on social media. It keeps you popular, it keeps you relevant, and it intimidates other players. I totally respect it. Look at me I was popping off like crazy right there, man. Dude. I was so happy right there.
That was a big moment.
Wait, I'm about to destroy that CRT.
You already destroyed the CRT, man.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
It's gone. Yeah, I think the guy in the back is actually the one. We're closely with the guy who shot that footage, Efren Salinas, and he said that he overheard some guy basically be like, "Bro, that's my TV."
Yeah, that's blur. It wasn't blur. I definitely messaged him and apologized for that because I was like, "Oh shit, everyone's right. I probably heard that TV." But that was an emotional win for me because I got my friends into day 3 and top 8, and it's a huge amount of getting into top 8 for Evo is one of the most stressful things. That's probably why.
Well, let's be honest. CRTs are built like tanks anyway. I mean, I literally had a CRT TV fall on top of my father on top of a bike rack. This is a true story. My dad's back was ruined for 3 weeks. TV was perfectly fine.
Yeah, definitely, man. They're making technology stronger and stronger today. Like like certain phones, like the HTC A9. pretty strong phone. Pretty great phone.
Do you want to talk more about Perrier too while we're on it?
They're not sponsoring me. I just love them.
They just love them.
But I will say Leffen, again, he's also doing his thing. He's very outspoken and he has very controversial views on things. But in the words of many people, someone has to have those views, right? And I believe he's doing a good job at that. Sometimes I read his stuff. I'm like, why the hell are you saying that, man? Like, F off, dude.
Yeah. Your comment on the fact that in person he seems to act a lot nicer brings me back to the famous thread where Armada said that he was never going to enter another tournament again. He was going to retire. Mango called him out, said a lot of stuff. Armada comes to Evo and they hug like nothing ever happened. So obviously the personas online and in person end up being a lot different.
I've had guys on my Twitch chats, for instance, or guys on Twitter call me, really bad stuff online, just horrible things.
It's a Christian show. Please don't say me.
No. It was just really bad stuff. And then I would recognize some of them at events, and they would like, "Hey, how you doing? Can you sign this for me? Can you take a picture?"
Your best friends all of a sudden, sure.
but then of course I say like yes if I'm not in a shit mood sometimes, and like if I lose and someone asks me for a signature, a picture, they're gonna be in for a bad time. I'd be so mean to them because I'm just so salty all the time about losing. But if I'm winning, I'm like yeah, all that. But I don't know what it is about the safety behind the screen. It's more of this day and age. I wouldn't liken it just to the Smash community. I wouldn't like it just to top players. You have your own thoughts towards things, and when you are told those things behind a screen, you don't have to deal with a person's immediate reaction. Because if a person said that to my face, I wouldn't like lash out at them. I'd get sort of sad, almost disappointed. Like,
Sure.
I don't know what I did to make you feel that about me, but I apologize, And when I see that, it's probably a little harder to say, you're a fucking idiot HBox or you suck or all that sort of things. But forget about that, because honestly, my fan base currently, my supporters, I get messages every day complimenting me about my play style, saying people enjoy what I do, and that really, brightens me up, lifts my day. And so more than listening to, you're always gonna have people who dislike you when you're successful in life. So more than listening to them, if you again focus on the people who care about you, your life gets like 20 times better, and it's awesome.
And what place do you feel that this drama has in Melee remaining a popular sport to this day? I mean, the game's been out for so long, and it's gotten more popular as time has gone on, in part because the characters have gotten so big. You yourself, Mango, the other people you mentioned, have become a big deal to a lot of people. You have fans, you have rivals for one reason or another. What do you think this is something that you need to keep up? Can it get bland over time? Will the gameplay keep the game going on? Where does all this factor in?
I guess you're talking about the growth of Melee and the future of it as it goes along, right?
I guess it sounds like you're asking, is the drama maybe part of the spectacle?
Yeah.
Is that something that people enjoy or feed off of?
It is actually not hurting in any way. I will say that. No one, and especially when you're a spectator and when you're someone on the receiving end, no one loves anything more than a good old-fashioned like feud between two people.
Yeah.
It makes things very, very interesting. And I will say that it is my belief that certain titles in the FGC and certain sports maybe have become extinct or no one plays them anymore due to a lack of popularity, due to the lack of activity, due to the lack of response and top players of each other in terms of rivalry. Due to when there is no fire between the players, when there's nothing to burn, how are you gonna get a spark going, right? Like, and likewise without any spark, how do you get any fire burning? It's a weird metaphor, but you need that passion from someone. You need someone in passion to make claims against someone, because eventually it's going to happen with anything competitive. Eventually it's going to get personal. And without that, I think communities suffer from that, and it makes things a lot more interesting for sure.
That makes a lot of sense. I know it's nobody minds a little bit of Meek Mill Drake action, right? At the end of the day,
dude. But Meek's dating Nicki Minaj, dude. He can't be that mad.
He kind of wins out at the end of the day at that one, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, we got to keep it rolling on the questions. We're drilling a lot on the pro stuff, but it doesn't stop there. Of course, people love their drama, as you just said.
Yes.
Next one coming up, Jinta Beast asks, if you and the other Melee top players got thrown into the Hunger Games, who would win? It's the hard-hitting stuff, man. We don't mess around here.
All right. If we all got thrown in Hunger Games, all right. I think how like they show the first 10 minutes of the scene, they'll drop into that big. I think the second one had that big like water one with all the water platforms and all that, like in the big center hub. I think like immediately knowing people, I think Mango would grab the biggest gun that there was there and a few knives and just go in the first person he saw. And if I was next to him, I am so fucked. But like immediately, I'm dead. Like I'm not even like out. Because you know what I would do? I would be the kind of guy that'd be like, try to as quickly as I can group people together with me in a team, and see like, can I trust you? Can we work together on this? And and then I get stabbed immediately.
So who's on your team?
Yeah, that's the real question. Who do you ally with?
It's only us six.
Your career's done after
No,
this,
you got to
by the way.
factor in because Ken was on Survivor, so he's
okay,
there. Obviously,
I'll go with Ken because Team Liquid.
Sure.
And I'd be like, I'd do that, and then I would try to pull perhaps Armada because I think he's very intelligent. But no one wanted to be on my team. I'm more of like, definitely if we were like picking teams like dodgeball for Hunger Games, I'd be the last pick for sure because I can't run very far without just like heaving, and I get hungry pretty easily. Like not even a pun. I need food a lot, and not super athletic. And let's be honest, man, I would be the kind of guy that's be like, guys, let's set up a camp over there. Let's camp for a bit.
You're the guy in the training who's learning how to do the camouflage and stuff. You're learning how to paint realistic tree bark on your face, right?
Exactly. Like, there's no point in going in and fighting, man. We're all dead anyway. Let's wait it out, man. Let's have some chicken or something like that.
Kumbaya, boys.
Yeah.
All right.
I get wrecked for sure. I think the winner of the entire thing would be PPMD.
I could see that.
He would run. He would grow a beard, a white beard to his feet, and walk with a cane. There would be like knives flying and bullets in the first scene. He would just be walking with a cane, and they would all just miss him, right? And he'd walk into like the mountains or the jungle.
He'd just get away unassuming. I could see that.
And then everyone would die, and the big announcer would come down and be like, Kevin Nanny, you are the winner. And then Kevin would say something like mad, prophetic, and poetic, like, in reality, we have all lost. And then like credits, right? And then like he doesn't actually get saved. He chooses to stay in the jungle. You know what I mean? Like,
is it unethical to make this a reality? Would I be under the Geneva Convention? Is it because I want to see this happen? I want to see how this all unfolds.
If instead of guns and knives in real life, if we had water balloons, I'd be super down.
That would be pretty dope.
Yeah, water balloons in a huge ass arena. And then what would Mewtwo King do in the Hunger Games? Mewtwo King would be the kind of guy. He would be like whoever. Okay, no, I know Jason would definitely try to do the same thing I was doing, like team up with people, like sort of create a little coalition. Like, I'll help you out for sure. I will for sure. And it'd be like day 43, and he'd be there like, okay, dude, Hungrybox always goes for those berries. He always goes for those berries. Hungrybox berries is a 0-100 matchup. And then our motto would be on the team. Our motto would be like, Jason, what the fuck? And it would. It would be so funny. God, I would pay just to see that.
Jason strikes me as the kind of guy that would be like what was the guy in the second movie who like wired everything together and like tried to electrocute the ocean. That's Jason. Yeah, that's him.
And the scene in the Hunger Games where it's like, oh, is that supposed to be like some kind of crazy magnetic thing? And the scientists are like laughing, like it's the most basic science and electromagnetics sort of thing. I think it's like, Jason, is that a gun right there? What'd you build? He's like, what are you, some kind of a scrub kid? I could imagine it happening.
This is absolutely beautiful.
You'll have a career writing movie scripts next.
Leffen would complain immediately there's not enough guns. Where are my guns? Where are my knives?
He'd ask which one's the best gun and then use that one exclusively.
I am the top seed here. Where are my guns?
This question literally turned out 100 times better than I expected it to.
I don't know, man.
Well, getting on to moving away from the inevitable doom of humanity onto your Jigglypuff prowess. Let's get to some technical questions. The Cyclops asks, have you watched Tech, French really good Jigglypuff play, and have you seen, do you have any thoughts about Tech's play?
I feel like this is the proper avenue to say this, but I definitely started a Facebook group chat with me and any of the top Jigglypuffs, or any of the good level Jigglypuffs, the ones that seem to place high, like Prince Abu is in there, Soft is in there, Dark, the Jigs player. Mm-hmm. We tried to add Tech, and upon adding him, I said, hey, listen, I haven't helped one of the puffs out for a long time, but now I think I'm willing to help you guys out, and we can work through this. And then Tech was just like, hey, HBox, like, you've never helped us out in the past. I see no reason to help you. Leaves the group. And so I was like,
damn.
He's a savage, dude. But maybe I do deserve that. But apart from that, he's definitely a good puff. I think best puff in Europe solidly, I'm sure. I would love to see how he performs against Armada or Leffen. It would be very interesting to see. I think Lucky beat him when he was drunk, I think. I heard a story. I don't know if that's true or not, but
the
I saw the matches.
Shit talk is real.
Yeah.
Again, literally, I have no semblance that's true. I just said, oh yeah, Lucky was drunk and he beat Tech from Twitch chat, whatever. And Twitch chat is Twitch chat, right? But all that aside, I've seen him play. He's got incredible fundamentals, very good spacing, and I wouldn't be surprised if I picked up some things that he did and tried to apply them to my own play style. I'm very happy he's pushing the meta. That someone in Europe is finally pushing that meta in PAL version.
In case he did maybe change his mind and decide to listen to some tips, here's your chance to give him some. Milswag asks, what is some specific advice you have for the Fox matchup that allows you to thrive even in the era of Foxes?
I would say everyone right now needs to stop doing whatever they're doing and stop working on getting aerials hit and start working on getting grabs landed on or below platforms. Because if you up throw as Puff, if you up throw a Fox as Puff beneath any platform, regardless of that Fox's DI, he will die every time if you're not an idiot. And I'm an idiot sometimes. But he will always, always die if you know what you're doing. Top level Fox have incredible DI, but Puff's grab is broken. It balances everything out. She still loses pretty badly. Maybe like, I don't know, 65-35, I guess, on average. But work on those grab setups against Fox. But it's just bizarre how different matchups are, because against Marth, I'll still say get grabs, but it's completely different what you have to do. But yeah, Puff Fox, don't feel intimidated by the lasers. Foxes will laser you, and they will try to make you come in and bait them. And by edge camping, I was getting a lead and baiting them right back. And eventually they were forced to approach me. But now I believe some of the top level players are picking up on how to beat that. So now my emphasis is on neutral. So getting the up throw punish on Fox and being very proficient in neutral. Not coming in the same way, not wave dashing the same way, not jumping in the same way. Doing complete mix-ups in how you approach and being as random as possible is the current meta. And if it's not there, it is where we are going. I promise you 100%.
You mentioned platforms, and what's interesting is that Westballs came on our show last week and said that he wants Final Destination banned. How do you feel about that?
If we got a movement going, I would not complain at all. I hate that stage. I think it's horrible. I think it's stupid. You have no room to go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, once you're hit, you can't like retreat somewhere. You can't play the neutral. It's constant interaction, I think, unless you're getting camped by a Fox and you're a slow character like Puff or Peach. It's like constant interaction. Even Peach has a chain grab on Fox, you know? And the chain grab, at the same time, though, I don't think it should be officially banned, because it has been a staple stage, and for you to die on that stage and get wrecked, the person has to pull off a very difficult chain grab. And I do consider the chain grab from zero to be a difficult maneuver. It's got frame-perfect windows. It's not exactly guaranteed every single time. And you getting grabbed is your fault. So, yeah.
That makes sense. One thing that we've obviously noticed about your play, especially after the whole ledge camping debacle of Evo. I mean, when you came back into that set against Armada in the final, and you sort of ditched the edge camping, it went a lot more into the neutral game. And I remember even as far back as Big House 4, watching you play, you seem to rely a lot more on finding those openings and getting those rest setups. But now I've watched you get a lot of KOs, in fact, by chaining those bears together. So what is it about your neutral game that you changed that allowed you to get those unsetups for yourself instead of waiting for your opponent to make a mistake?
If I could put it into words, I would. But the weirdest thing is I don't know what I'm really doing, and it's working out pretty well. And I know that sounds really stupid, but I put in the work. When I was not placing well, we decided before Evo. Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're watching that.
I'll watch
yeah,
that combo.
we're literally watching that play, and you got the grab, but instead of going into the up air for the platform, or the up grab for the up throw, and getting the rest of the platform, you actually threw him back, and then went into the bears for the to. I don't know if gimping is a term in Melee.
But I will say this, though. I said I wasn't sure what I'm doing. That's not exactly true. As a general sense, when I'm in like the action with Fox, I let my fingers do the work, if that makes sense. It's muscle memory at this point how I should space around Fox and other characters. That's very hard to put into words. That's why I said I don't know. What I do know is that there's only so many aspects of Smash you have to perfect. That is punishing, that is neutral. And punishing and neutral and recovery isn't too much of an option with Puff, but other characters it is. When you are at the edge with Fox and you back throw him, people always question what's the best way to edge guard. Oh, that rest. People always say what's the best way to edge guard, right? And do you go out there? Do you not go out there? And it is as simple as a Fox back throwing another Fox. The top Foxes will say, we will always react to the side B, or wait for the side B and react to the up B. And that's it. with every character. You expect Fox to side B, and if he doesn't do it and he up Bs, you should have time to react and go out there if you play a high tier character. And that's all it is, always. Now, if the Fox is spaced well or mix it up, it's more difficult. But there's only so many angles Fox can do. There's only so many mangos that there are. And it's your ability to react and your speed that helps you get those reads and whatnot. In the classic example where I back throw Fox and he's up just a little bit and he's firefoxing. If you stay on stage, you're screwed because always going to go down to the edge and he's going to be invincible all the time. But you can't guess on Firefox. You have to react to Firefox. You have to use the length that backer has because backer is just like 2 puff lengths. So you have to hit where they're going to be and the space around them rather than where you think you're going to be with puff.
I believe that was the measurement system King George used in Victorian England. Puff length.
Puffs, yeah.
But unfortunately, it varied based on whether or not Jigglypuff was angry. So obviously,
one puff length is exactly the distance of my arm.
That's a puff. It's hug distance.
Hey, read the Pokemon card.
Is that real? Is that on the Pokemon?
No, I'm just shitting you. I have no idea. That'd be cool though.
You got me.
Can someone pull that up? Can someone find that? I'm actually really curious.
Well,
I'll look it up later.
Oh, yeah, I'll check it out later. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about Jigglypuff as a character. Specifically, what are the problems with Jigglypuff as a character that you've had to overcome? Neo Gatsby actually asks, do you feel that Jiggly is inherently limited compared to other characters? There's more to that question, but we'll start with, do you feel that Jigglypuff is inherently limited?
The obvious answer is a yes, but it's because every character has limits. Even Fox has limits as the best character. So it's not really a question of limits, but rather a question of how many tools does one have in certain matchups. Puff can beat most of the cast. I would say she struggles mainly against Fox, Marth, and maybe a very good Falco. And basically, apart from those matchups, actually Falcon now too. Falcon's getting more difficult. Those are the 4 matchups I think. Everything else is beatable. Even Ice Climbers is beatable if you know what you're doing and you know how to fight them. But those matchups at top level, the speed of the character and the pressure a character can put on, and it makes it difficult at various times to utilize all her tools. And every Puff player knows what I'm talking about when I say Fox is hard. Every Puff player has had a Falco that couldn't be, and God knows every Puff player has had Marthitis, and it's a very hard thing. It's a real thing. Marthitis is a thing, and until you get past those matchups, you're not going to succeed in tournaments. Puff is limited by a lack of projectile and the necessity to get reads on very high level player. You have to read them, and it's not necessarily impossible to read, but reads are still reads. You can't react to everything as Puff, especially when they're not missing L cancels. You have to guess certain points. And in some ways, Puff has that risk factor to her.
Then the follow-up question to that, of course, in other words, do you think the character is more of a gimmick for other top players to learn how to defeat instead of a well-rounded character to continue to improve and develop? Neo Gatsby, I think you have your own motives. And I'm calling you out, Neo Gatsby. This feels a little bit like a leading question, but Juan, you have the floor.
Gimmick, I don't think a character can be a gimmick in a game unless the game's horrible. I won't even call Brawl a horrible game, but in Brawl, Ice Climbers, chain grab on any stage, any character from 0%. It's just it's death. To me, that's like a clear imbalance, or how broken Meta Knight was, for instance. In Melee, even Fox, can you imagine a world where we say we're going to ban Fox? That would never, ever happen because we've seen his weaknesses. Melee has that beauty to it, the beauty aspect of glass cannons, right? Every character, in a way, has a glass cannon aspect to them. Maybe not Fox and Falco are the true glass cannons because they're super comboable. When they're off the edge in one hit, they're dead every single time. But they can get the most insane pressure locks on you. They can combo you to infinity. Not infinity, but combo you a bunch and kill you off of many things. Up throw up air. Falco has, dare, shine, lasers, Fox's lasers, Nair's aerials, a bunch of things. But they have the recovery. Marth, on the other hand, no recovery, excellent range, excellent mobility and movement, but limited to a slightly vertical recovery and the fact that he's kind of floating, dies from up smashes at rather low percent. Sheik, also well-rounded, very fast, can put great pressure, grab game is incredible, tech chasing is very easy on almost every character. But again, Sheik is limited by the fact that her rush down on characters isn't really a thing. You can't exert too much pressure on shield. You have to rely almost on that grab. And you have a Needle, But recovery again could be a lot better, and it's another way the game is balanced. And finally, we get to Puff, of course, crazy character that has insane aerial mobility, range in a back air that makes you question what the designers were even smoking when that happened, and recovery that's the best in the game. You don't have to worry about recovering, but you die at 45 from fuck up smash. It's just like, or 50. I'm trying to say this. It balances out. It's like. The developers knew very well what they were doing, and Melee wouldn't be here today if that wasn't true. So there's a reason that the game is alive today, and the aspect of balance proves that I don't think any character in Melee is a gimmick. Certainly there are strategies which can be considered gimmicky, and the game has its flaws. You can stall, wobble stall, sing stall. Those are imperfections of the game. You couldn't really expect, but I think our competitive rule set is very close to ideal currently, and we shouldn't ban any character or consider any character gimmick. Every character takes skill. Every character takes time, dexterity, and focus, and very deep understanding of in-depth matchups to play proficiently. And that takes work, and work should never be considered a gimmick.
What's interesting to me about Jigglypuff, and you've been talking about this a little bit, is that despite being a very consistent character, defensive character, rest is such a big part of her game, and making extremely hard reads that will kill you if you miss them is a big part of her game. How have you gained the confidence to go for, non-guaranteed rest setups in tournament? And how long do you feel you have to have played a player and know a player to make that read?
And I'll answer your question with a question. Do you think I actually go for non-guaranteed rest setups ever?
Fair point.
Fair point.
Very fair point. I guess at this point you've probably got those dialed, huh?
People ask me, how do you land rest so often? I said, well, it's very simple when the rest is guaranteed. When the rest is not guaranteed, it's almost impossible, and it's pointless to go for. I'm going to risk my entire stock on the off chance that he puts down his shield. What? Unless you have a 3-stock lead, no. But if I have a thing that I practiced and I know will land, unless I mess up technically, which will happen, I miss rests 99% of the time because of a technical error. Because I didn't realize that it wasn't guaranteed, and I thought it was, and I didn't realize that maybe I should have jumped a certain way this way. But the rest of the time, it's because I know it'll hit. I know, water boils at this temperature, and I know that up till rest will hit Fox if he doesn't DI it in a certain way. I know it'll hit, and I know it won't hit too. So, and I learn new ways to rest every week.
You're a chemical engineer. Do you know the boiling point of a solution 70% benzene, 30% toluene?
At Celsius or Fahrenheit?
Oh, beautiful. Oh, I love it. I am not a chemical engineer, even if I studied it, so good on you for accomplishing that.
And apparently I know nothing about Hungrybox's game plan.
Benzene is... I think...
There's actually 4 temperatures we use. There's Celsius, Fahrenheit, Kelvin, and Rankine. And Rankine's the weird one. Rankine's like the Kelvin of Fahrenheit, which is... It's weird.
I never used
no
Rankine in school. I remember using Kelvin and then occasionally Fahrenheit or Celsius. But
the reason we use Fahrenheit in America is because we like things to go from 0 to 100. Because at 0 degrees Celsius, it's really cold, and at 100, you're dead.
Not as cold as 0 degrees Kelvin, however.
And at 0 degrees Kelvin, you don't exist. And at 100 degrees Kelvin, you're still dead. And Fahrenheit, you're either really cold or really hot. So it's great. Fahrenheit's awesome.
This has been a really good Smash conversation. I feel really an enriching addition to the show. We're going to keep it rolling. Moving on from Neo Gatsby, Firepuff12 wants to know, do you think Mango's Puff style could still work in today's meta? Tripping over my words.
My immediate answer was yeah, Acebox, say no and laugh, and it'll be kind of funny. I'm like, no. The guy invented so much stuff with Puff, and he was doing way better with Puff when I first started, So I couldn't necessarily count it out. But I think it would be the meta would be very, very difficult. I've been coercing and inadvertently training these top level foxes so much, and they have always been watching my videos and making sure they know exactly what I do. But then again, those are my habits, those are my style, and who's to say Mango couldn't come in back with Puff and do pretty well? I personally, all I say is I would be surprised, because I think especially the Swedish foxes have the matchup down pretty padlock right now, and Mango's Spaceys are such a much higher chance of beating them when he's on point. So I wouldn't see the point of it, to be honest.
Let's say, for example, that you had the chance to change the meta, to reinvent the wheel, throw out the Mango meta, throw out your meta. This is your chance to quote unquote fix Puff, and our chat really wanted to hear this one. Memes of production, which by the way is my favorite name of all the questions this week. Memes of production.
Memes of production.
Memes of production ass.
That's pretty dank.
I know. I love it. That's a dank meme. I know it's not called meme, guys. Just leave your YouTube comments to yourself.
It's called meme.
Memes of production. If Nintendo were to ever make a Melee HD, love this question because it's never going to happen, that tried to make the most minimal changes possible with the goal of making the game more balanced, what alterations do you think they should consider for Puff?
All right. To make the game fair and fix her and make it better, I'd make her a bit heavier. I don't think she should die. I'm going to try to even out the Fox Puff matchup. I'll say make her die 7% later. 10.
That's small, really. 7%.
No, 7's kind of.
I was thinking like 20%. Yeah.
No. Okay, I would say if I'm being screw it. I would say 10 at most, 10%. Otherwise, it might not be very fair.
Sure.
And then I would say give Puff. I don't. It's so weird. It's one of the questions I actually don't know how to answer. I love my character so much the way it is. It's crazy. And it's just like I'm so used to it. And I would say instead fix things with Fox and fix things with Marth and stuff and Falco.
Every night you go to bed with a little Jigglypuff pillow and you say, I love you just the way you are, baby.
My girlfriend has this enormous
beautiful baby
Jigglypuff plush that I had for a while. But no, I don't have it up here.
What would you give her a different piece of headgear aside from the headband?
Yeah. Would you? He's asking. Would you change Jigglypuff's headgear? Do you think that there's headgear you'd prefer over the green headband?
No, green headband's the best, and I like the Brawl sleeping hat too. That's pretty cool. But if they gave Jigs like this crazy Jigs with Ganondorf hair or Super Saiyan hair would be pretty cool. I think that would be pretty intimidating. But apart from that, Jigs headband is the best single costume in the whole game. It moves when you fly. I don't think there's any other costume that does that. That's pretty dope.
Is there a way to make her up B not completely and utterly worthless?
Oh, right. Up B. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me paraphrase. Okay, 2 fixes to Puff. 1, when you hit a rollout from behind, don't do that thing where you fall to your death immediately. You can't get out of it. That's stupid. That's really dumb. They should make it go straight up, and then you can DI it. That would be sick. That would be 1. And then secondly, I would make it so that when you up B with Puff, it has more range and less time. It could be it's like pa, and it's then you can make someone fall asleep on command on the ground. You know how sick that would be? Jab, reset, pa, sing into and take out sing stalling because that's broken. But that would be cool. That would be really, really neat.
This is the future, people. We're watching it happen right in front of our eyes. Sakurai is furiously taking notes at his home in
and
Japan.
give Jigs up be a little pop, a little... Oh, that would be so sick. I have no idea. That would be broken, though.
We've created a monster, ladies and gentlemen. Well, okay, so you're giving stuff to Puff, but Pokemon 64ism, which is a religion I believe is appearing in Nepal, asks if you could change or take out one mechanic in Melee. So you're removing a mechanic. What would it be and why?
One mechanic. Let's see. I think V canceling is cool.
Something like jumping. Yeah.
I don't think V canceling should have necessarily been there, and it doesn't change stuff too much. It's just kind of annoying sometimes. The invisible ceiling stuff is really cool to look at, but I think it could definitely get in the way a lot. And I think phantom hits in general are just, I don't know about phantom hits. Phantom hits is to me the closest thing that Melee has to tripping in Brawl. Yeah. It's just why is that there, man? If the move hits, if the move misses, the move misses, and yeah, it's unfortunate. I think if any move does %, it should always correspond with a back hit or whatever.
Okay. Well, once again, we're improving Melee one question at a time, ladies and gentlemen. This is a big show for everyone.
And take out the stupid rock stage. Pokemon Stadium. I hate that rock stage. So
is
dumb.
it disadvantageous for you, or do you just hate playing on it? Like
I've gotten it 3 times in a game before in a row.
seriously.
In tournament. No, it sucks. It's an enormous phallic object coming out of the left side of the screen. You can
Is
text
that
messages
it makes
off
you
it.
feel insecure? You feel.
Oh, I have nothing to worry about. But I will say that like when it's there, like you can
Beautiful.
up throw like Puff at like 20%, and she's dead. That's dumb. I think neutral stadium is really good, but otherwise no.
That's fair. I could agree with that. I mean, as a spectator, I hate it every time it pops up because, I mean, like you said, for me, it either becomes everybody sits and camps at their respective spot, or Armada spends the next 2 minutes pelting you with, I almost said petunias. Turnips. That's that vegetable I was looking for. Pelting you with turnips, and the matchup turned sour really quickly. Well, we've got a couple more questions before we round out the show for tonight. So we're going to try to get to a couple more so we get everybody's voice in here. And then, of course, we'll sign off for the night. And we will actually, big surprise for the guests who are here in the chat, we'll be announcing next week's our Smash Brothers AMA candidate. And we're really excited about this one, so make sure you stay tuned. Next question is TRG42 asks, why do you stand when you're playing?
I don't anymore. But I did at HTC. I do it as a last measure to make me wake up and play more active and aggressively. I read somewhere that when you stand up, it makes your work more efficient, and I proved that to myself, and it was true. I can do work better when I'm standing up, and I feel more active. At the same time, it really wears you out. It makes me sweat like crazy, and it definitely helped out a lot. Like against Silent Wolf at HTC, I stood up and I proceeded to win the next 3 games. And against in certain tournaments, I stood up and change the outcome, like me versus SFAT, and it's just like it's really weird how it works. But at the same time, who's to say that the same thing wouldn't happen if I just sat down, And I think my main thing, and I think the reason I've been doing so well in tournaments is because I'm taking out all superstition from my play style. I used to be like the guy like, oh, if I stand a certain way, or if I plug in a certain port, or if I have a beard or not, if I get a haircut, and I'd be more confident. It was the stupidest, most mundane bullshit, and I really sat down with myself and I'm like, you need to calm down, dude. you need to actually start practicing and not being like a friggin' voodoo person. And I didn't do voodoo, but obviously,
Well, maybe a little just a little bit. Just a shrunken head, nothing weird. No judgment here.
Little shrunken leffen. But no,
that's why
it
he's
would be
grimacing
like
all the time.
Shrunken Leffen would look like one of the, what are those little called? Like, what are the little like things with the crazy hair?
Oh,
like little
the troll thing. What are the
trolley
man.
dolls or
Called troll
whatever?
dolls.
The troll dolls.
Not the face, obviously, but the hair.
I don't think we're
at
ever going to get him on this show, man.
least.
Anyway,
I forgot what I was even saying, dude. I'm sorry. I get so sorry. Yeah,
No,
I told myself cut out the bullshit and just start practicing and theorizing and doing it, and then you work out just fine.
that's awesome, man. Well, coming at you with our last question. Last question of the night, folks. I apologize we weren't able to get everybody's question, but I encourage you to tune in every week so you can get your questions in, and of course we will do our best to get it read on the air. But this one is close and personal to my heart, especially because you put up albums on Twitter all the time, and you and I have, I'm telling you, the exact same music taste. Solid Wookie wants to know, what has your favorite album been of the year so far? Don't say it's not New Bermuda.
Stop. I pull up my list really quick.
Take all the time,
All right.
man. This is a high pressure situation.
All right. My favorite album of the year. So, because 2015 has been just such an insane and amazing year for music, it's very hard for me to say. But off the top of my head, In Color by Jamie XX is just phenomenal. The one that Magical Clouds just put out is also incredible. And then New Bermuda, easily top 5, if not the best. Beach House, good stuff, not the best ones though. Their albums seem like they could put more effort into it, but I still like them. And let me see if I.
When you're following up Team Dream and Bloom, you set the bar
what are
pretty
you gonna
high.
do, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna. I feel bad for Def Heaven when they were following up Sunbather. But they did a damn good job for sure, and I like them both almost equally. I think Sunbather I still like a little more because of what the album meant to me. But let me see. Yeah, so those albums are the ones that come right to my head. There was Titus Andronicus, The Most Lamentable Tragedy. That one was really, really good. Not my type of music, but I definitely got me into that genre now. And did Father John Misty, did that come out this year? I Love You, Honey Bear.
That one.
Yeah, if that one came out, that one too. Those are the first ones that come to mind. I'm probably being a complete idiot and forgetting certain ones. Wait, did Kendrick Lamar's drop this year too?
I'm not sure. Not sure if that was this year.
I'm just forgetting everything. But if that one dropped this year too, and there's just a lot of good ones.
Needless to say, plenty of selections for everybody. You can now listen to those on Spotify for only $10 a month.
And
their
there's
logo
also
can be right here.
one of the most looked over and like low key best ones, dude. Lil Dicky. That album is so funny and so good.
I can't believe you're putting that on our show right now.
If you want a good time with your friends, listen to some Lil Dicky, professional rapper. That album is amazing.
Well, there you have, ladies and gentlemen. Liquid Hungrybox, professional smasher, professional music curator, coming at you live with his hot picks. Do you have any shout-outs? Yeah, do you have any shout-outs before we shut down the show for the night?
Oh, we're done?
Oh, we're done. We're done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout-outs obviously to Team Liquid. Just I re-signed with them, and it's just the best esports team I've ever been on. They're phenomenal. Shout outs to HTC, G2A, Alienware, all my supporters, all my fans, and shout outs to my girlfriend. Her birthday is tomorrow. So pretty happy about that too. I'm going to visit her. And shout out to, most importantly, above everything, the scene, all the local scenes. Because all the local scenes with new players coming out and new people trying to build the community, whether it's Central Florida doing the Amateur Melee League or Matt.Zeb doing the Melee Games and getting all the collegiate effort, or SSS or whatever, the SoCal people doing the Arcadians and all that. That's just phenomenal. That's exactly like what we need in this scene to keep it alive, to keep it growing. And shout out to all the big companies putting in these crazy pop bonuses. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very sad that I can't make the summit, but at the same time, I should be having a nice weekend anyway. And I just hope that there'll be more events like the summit that I'll be hopefully be able to attend. And I'm going to DreamHack, so going to be super, super great time, I think. And I think playing Puff and Pal versus Left and Armada, I hope that they're in for as much of a surprise as I am in our matches, if it makes any difference at all, which hopefully it will.
Excellent.
And that's basically it. Shout outs to the H fam, and hope we have as great of a year 2016 as we did in 2015.
You can shout out Perrier one more time too if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, this is your chance.
Shout outs to this empty bottle of Perrier, and shout outs to doing this. Hold on.
Have you ever?
It's really cool.
Have you ever seen a full bottle of Perrier? My point exactly. Thanks so much for joining us, Juan.
It's the air, man. The air.
Yeah, absolutely. Juan Hungrybox is being coming to us from his beautiful home. Thank you so much for joining us, man. We'll be back next week. But before we sign off the show, take 2 minutes of your time, 2 minutes tops. Go to youtube.com/daily.esports. Hit the subscribe button. We'll give you time to do it. Go ahead.
Sub to them, man. Everyone sub.
You got it? All right, cool. So now everybody's done that. Make sure to follow our channel. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook, or like us on Facebook. I don't know what the kids do anymore. Like, follow, whatever, subscribe. Subscribe to Facebook. Follow us on YouTube, and like us on Twitter. We'll be back next week with, and this is the big exclusive announcement, none other than retired broadcaster Prague himself will be coming to us. So make sure to get your questions in when the thread goes up on Monday. We will be sure. We'll be pretty excited for that interview. Sort of a living legend in the Smash Brothers community, and we look forward to hearing his unique viewpoint. He's probably already actually celebrating the Mets' berth in the World Series. After all, that's all
they
he
had to
talks
beat my
about
Cubbies to
on
get
Twitter.
there, which is kind of sad.
Did they? Well, I'm sorry for your loss. My Royals are still in it, if that makes you feel any better.
It doesn't.
I'm sure it doesn't. Join us next week, folks. This has been the R Smash Brothers AMA, brought to you by the Daily Dot. We will see you next time.